Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. We're going to talk about how can we recognize if we're in this narcissistic abuse cycle. What exactly is narcissistic abuse? It's a type of emotional abuse that's carried out by a narcissist. So these people with narcissistic personality disorder, they need that admiration from people. It's a fuel supply to them. They also don't have any empathy. They lack it. So people often can use this term narcissist casually to mean somebody who is obsessed with themselves, and often at the expense of their relationships and that they have with others, whether it's at work or romantic, family type relationships. But there's some signs of this abuse. And if we're trying to figure out, do we stay, do we go, do we want this person back, how to handle things, but we got to be cautious not to just label somebody as a narcissist because only a doctor can do that. So they do have certain criteria they need to meet, 5 out of 9. I have a video on that. So we can kind of recognize it, but in order to be fully diagnosed, they do need a doctor to do that. But it keeps it helpful for us. So there are some warning signs that we should know. Narcissists have a controlling behavior. They often control us. They might try to restrict the clothing that we wear, who we hang out with, how we spend our money, where we work. They also love to gaslight us, which is a form of manipulation. And it is a form of emotional abuse. It causes us to question our entire reality. So when they're gaslighting, they'll deny things that we know to be true. They'll often twist facts. They'll use our own words against us. So we're starting to question our own reality. A lot of times they cause isolation, social isolation onto us, and they'll pull us away from the important relationships that we have. And we become more dependent on our abuser. And they do that on purpose. They also don't respect our right to privacy. They might track where we're at. They'll, stalk our social media. And in other ways, they can violate our sense of privacy, track us, show up at places just to verify if we're there or not. And it kind of gives them a sense of control. It also is very intimidating to us. We start to walk on eggshells and, accounting for every minute of our day. We can't live a comfortable life anymore. The narcissist, they start to belittle us after that idealization stage. With name calling, belittling us, and sometimes it's just little jabs over and over again. Often they will give us a silent treatment. So even though it's silent, that's verbal abuse. So they could use their words and they just choose to be silent. Another sign can be a lack of boundary. And if they insert themselves into our lives quickly, a lot of times that's a warning sign that they might become controlling or abusive. They just want to latch on a little too quickly and a little too tight. Something's a little unstable with that. And narcissists can sometimes threaten us or the people that we love. Sometimes they'll use things against us, even our pets. So be aware of that. And sometimes the abuser can often threaten self-harm, whether it's suicide or cutting themselves or not going to eat till we talk to them. Whatever it is, they can threaten self-harm as a way to control us. They also love to censor things, anything that we say or do. They might threaten to abuse us or punish us for speaking out. They often withhold things, and that is a very manipulative behavior, whether they're withdrawing their attention, affection, even their communication. That's what drove me crazy, is the communication being withdrawn as a way of punishing us. Also makes us feel like we're ostracized. To me, it made me feel inhuman. So be really careful on this. There's no proof that things are going to get better. Mental illness is never an excuse for abuse. So just remember that. Don't feel sorry for them. So this cycle that they go through, the idealization stage, in the beginning, we're love bombed, we're the perfect person. We seem to have found the exact mate that we want. And often the abuser is infatuated with the victim, and the soon-to-be victim feels that they found the ideal partner. So if you felt you were on cloud 9, be careful, especially if it happened quickly. Then at the stage of devaluation, you really, this is when you start to see the warning signs and the abusive behavior begins. It'll start out slowly. Sometimes it's just controlling us with some type of jealous behavior, or they get mad if we hang out with our friends, and that'll escalate. And this is where it just starts progressing, snowballs out of control. They'll do some verbal abuse, possible violence, gaslighting. And then there's that discard, the rejection that we get. Oftentimes it can happen because we asked for a compromise or for some understanding that the narcissist just wasn't willing to provide. And that's pretty hurtful to go through this ideal situation to coming to this discard where all we did was ask for a compromise. Narcissists do not like to compromise. They do not like to take idealization. But there are some effects that we go through. So some common effects, we might feel shameful. We'll have some anxiety. I know I struggled with just feeling comfortable in my own skin. A lot of times we'll feel guilt. Like, did we do something wrong? Did we ask too much? We'll start to feel powerless when they don't speak to us, or we don't know how to make things better. Feeling powerless, where we have no control over the situation. When we try to set something up so it works for both of us, they don't follow through. Now we're starting to feel like a nag. We're starting to get confused. Confusion is a big thing with narcissists. We'll start to lose our self-esteem. We become overly compliant to them, to where we're bending over backwards to please them, but where our needs aren't getting met. We don't even have a voice in this anymore. And sometimes we'll take the blame for the other person, whether it's talking with our family members, trying to excuse their behavior for, I don't know, blowing off activity after activity, or if, I don't know, hopefully you didn't get physically abused, but you're like, oh, I fell into the door. We're making excuses for them. And by staying in this unhealthy relationship, we become unhealthy. And remember, it does cause brain damage in us. It causes us to start to do reactive abuse. Sometimes we pick up narcissistic traits. So be really cautious when you stay in this. But it's good to get some help. Talk to people who understand what you're going through. Because if you don't talk to somebody who understands it, they're not going to help you effectively. And I do want to share something with you guys. And then I'll continue on it a little bit, but this is kind of important because I had just read something. It was pretty upsetting to me. A lot of times people are like, I just don't want to live anymore. I'm questioning my self-worth. Is it worth continuing on? I want to share this with you. This is for the United States. You can use the country code, which is 1, or you can reach out to me, or you can Google for your area. But this is the National Suicide Helpline. If you are struggling with it, please call this. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my share, but this will be available if you scroll back in the video. You can replay it to grab this number, but definitely reach out to somebody who's able to help you. There's a lot of different, I can't X out on this. It's not giving me what I need now. There we go. So nobody deserves to be abused. So even if they're diagnosed with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, it doesn't excuse their behavior. We got one life to live. And if you work with a professional counselor, it's good to have, whether it's somebody who really understands us, or there's, different groups that are free or you can pay. Some insurances have mental health coverage. So sometimes just talking it through can give us some direction, or even us just saying the words where it's like, yeah, he only hit me 6 times. Wait, he hit me 6 times. And we start to realize exactly what's going on. Think about the things that they did do for you. Was it only to get something in return? Abuse is abuse, whether it's emotional or physical. Emotional abuse can last a lifetime. It shouldn't be tolerated. There's also a domestic violence hotline, and this you can replay. It's 800-799-7233. And once again, it's 800-799-7233 if it's domestic abuse. And just definitely take care of yourselves. Don't accept the abuse. And, you know, no contact is your safest bet. If you have children together, limited contact, you can use somebody else to kind of be a mediator, meet at a police department for drop-offs. There's ways around it, but keep yourself safe. And just remember, it just never gets better. The cycle of abuse, if somebody can discard you over silly little things, if they're not willing to work through things, narcissists are very controlling, and you lose your ability to stand up for yourself, because once you're in that devaluation stage, you know, they're just going to continue the cycle. You know, if they are trying to work through things, it's only to get what you can give them. I want you to take that to heart. Are you there to subserviently please somebody else with nothing in return? You have one life to live. And it just kind of stimulated something inside me, where this person was like talking about another YouTuber, where it's like, wow, this is like perfect timing for this. So if you're going through struggles of thinking, you know, is life even worth it? I know there's times that I have wailed and screamed to where I have a soundproof building. My neighbors next door could hear me, to where you just hurt so bad. But don't take your life. Live your life. Take your life back. Don't take it away. Don't give the narcissist that kind of power to, they've already destroyed a big part of you that you're going to rebuild. Just like a garden, when a garden gets destroyed, you just replant it. It'll grow. It'll be okay. It'll take some time. So you have to tend to it. You'll reap what you sow. So everything you can for your beautiful garden of life, and the benefits will come. Sometimes it takes time, but it will come. But the more you tend to it, the more you weed out all the narcissists in your life, the healthier it'll be. And when a garden is healthy, when your body is healthy, it'll reap even more benefits. So big hugs, and feel free to reach out to me if you guys are struggling with some things, but there is some professional help out there. And don't get so sad that you forget how much you're worth. Don't put them above you. You have a beautiful life ahead, and I care about you. So see you in the next video. One-on-ones are available, and I'll see you in the next video.